Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I bought it. I went and bought it. Today I've going to go through BEATSURFING's Random VST, and yeah, it's a bit of fun. I haven't played with it too much. I did buy it last week, and I haven't spent too much time through it. I have gone through sort of how it works and the different presets it has to offer. I haven't used it like in a session or sound design with it or anything like that. I've only spent maybe 10 minutes with it, I reckon. I've read the manual, and basically, last week I had a melody already written. It was sounding shit. I did throw random on there, and within about 5 minutes, whatever I selected sounded fucking wicked. So I used it, and it's now in that track, which will be out this year. So yes, I've used it, not long. And I'm also didn't want to use it. I wanted to go through it live in this video so we could unpack it together, and I can sort of give some more info about it. So what is it? I was reading through the manual. It's nature inspired and AI sourced. It's made up of I think it was 8 modulating delay lines, 2 feedback loops, and it's got a resonator in it, which has dedicated modulation sources, which was a phase mod, several filters, and had several envelopes in it, something like that. The interface, very cool, a lot of fun. This is matter, which is the visual representation of the sound. What I'm moving around is the X and Y axes. This is a random button, which changes a whole bunch of parameters for you. The Defiance is going to fuck around with several hundred different parameters, and I'd look at that as a dry wet. So when it's off or down on 0 and we spin it, the random button hardly moves. When we go up top and spin it, it gives a huge variation. The instability is on a per note basis as well. So the more of it you got, the more it will affect each note as it changes if you've got a melody or even a single note. The stress is a decay. The spike will add aggression on the left and right. So warmer and dark tones, and then harsh tones as well. And the bleed will change the amount of the resonator, I think. Can't remember now. And the fluid works in with the bleed. Presets at the top: 808s, bass, kick, lead, perk, pluck, snare, super matter. You can obviously save your own presets too. Then we've got matter up here. I think these are different presets or different parameters within the preset. So these don't change as you change the presets, but these will give you different variations as well. So I've had a double shot espresso. I've been mucking around. I'm ready to go. We'll jump into it. I'm just going to demonstrate the different sounds as I'll scroll through the presets. Then I'll throw it over a kick drum, see what we get. Then we'll try and apply it in some way, shape or form. So I'm just hitting the keyboard. So straight off the bat, moving the axis around will change several different parameters. As I said, the amount of Defiance will change the amount of random. So you can just flick this. And then these buttons here are parameter locks. So if you lock them from black to white, as you move the X, Y, it won't move the parameters. So if you get to a close pocket that you like, you can maybe start locking parameters and then go from there and really start sculpting it. Or you can leave them off and just really randomize it completely. And then you can cycle through the matter variations as well. So enough from me. 808s, number 1. Not yet kick drum. This is dry out of the box. I'm not processing it. No, I'm not, no. And it's quite wide. It's got a nice stereo field on it. So But what I did notice, when you listen in mono, it's still very strong, which is really good for your mixing. So keep that in mind as well when you're using the bastard. Now, off the bat, the XY is a lot of fun. You can just sort of, similar to grain delay in the last video, moving around the cursor, hitting the random button, cycling through the different matters, and then all the parameters that come with it. Along with, I would also use this in a very similar way to the grain delay video, where I would, because there's so many options and it's so versatile, I would hit record and resample the live recording. So I'm getting all those parameter changes live and then go into it and take out what I want from it. I think that's a good point to notice too. Obviously, use it however you like, but, you know. Excuse me. So, let's get in. I'll cycle through quickly, then I'll sequence it as well. Again, random button. Kick, bit short of decay there for us. And I've just drawn up MIDI note, name it what note I'm in, just on C. A lot of texture, quite metallic as well. I feel like I could score a horror movie, to be honest. I haven't used it. I think it's similar to Thrill in terms of the interface from Native Instruments, that horror cinematic thing. Pretty sure it was looking something like this with an XY axis. And you know me, I really like to stress out a sound. These are kick drums. Wild. Then obviously would use all of this. So you can hear it's one note. When I put the instability up, we'll hear the per note change. Which is cool, because you could almost get a melody out of one note, or a rhythm out of one note. Kicks, leads. I've gone lower on the MIDI keyboard, but to me, in my head, a lot of this for me would create tension in a track. A lot of these sounds I would use for tension. I'd use them to sort of stack kick drums and maybe open the stress envelope as the kick evolves, breakdowns, the whole lot, and heaps of little fucking sweeps and little ear candy bits to give those extra details in a track. This could save a lot of time sound designing, even though you still would be mucking around with the plugin itself, but you could probably get some quick results for little short loops, you know, because we don't need a lot of detail in the audio. You can get some quick sweeps and reverse hats and stuff like that. You can get anything. If you watch the demos, they like got hip hop tracks and trap loops and shit on there, and it sounds fucking wild. So I found the demos pretty cool too. Everything's going to sound similar because I've only drawn the same key, the same note on a 4/4, but We'll bring some variation in soon. We've got plucks. Let's stress it out. And I mean, my type of plugin, all the words spike, stress, bleed, I love it. Snares. Change these. I'd use that. Oh, I'd fucking use that, mate. Woo! You can really bend this bastard, you know? And the more you use it, the more you get familiar with the parameters and the presets. And then lastly, carrying on a bit, super meta. I mean, that's out of the box, right? We haven't distorted or processed yet. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now, let's sequence it. I use Rosa. It's free. You can use Sec 8 or any other sequencer really. The reason why I love it, and I've gone through this before, hit random, shrink it down to 6 steps, and sort of let Rosa do the work. I don't play piano. I don't want to play piano. Let's go. Pink Floyd vibes. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna just sort of so that instability, or what the fuck you say it, having it up, even though we've got a sequence of different notes, having it up can give more variation per note, so I can get some quite quirky, unusual sound too. I'll go 12 steps. I don't know why Rosa keeps stopping. I'm gonna fucking lose it. What we'll do, I'm gonna unloop it because that's giving me some grief, and that should keep playing. Oh, had the EQ on. So you can see as well how we segment is going to really bring out different characteristics in the sound, you know, because you can control envelopes and stuff too. So we can get 12 steps quite short and snappy and give it like a real synth sound. Let's go back to 808. Woo. I think it's that much fun that me personally, I'd get carried away too much. I wouldn't even fucking make anything because I'm just exploring more. But when I normally do this, I'll be recording this live and then taking snippets out. So I'd hit record. Shush. I'd hit record and resample this, so I'm getting all those live parameter changes, and then going back into it. But then there'd be other scenarios where I like something if I've dragged it to a certain spot. And obviously this is just the video, but in my production, if I was using it and I got it close to somewhere I liked, I'd lock parameters and focus in and really try and hone that sound if I'm already in a decent position. Let's try this. You get some acid sounds too. Nice high-end stuff. I do love how, as you go through the cursor, you can probably get a lot of different elements. So out of the one preset, if we'll keep it up top, you can get a quite plucky percussion sound. Take that recording or sample, then work on that to get percussion. But as you scroll through the cursor and you go down to something low, you can leave it there, then try and record a rumble or process it as a rumble or a kick layer of any sort. I mean, as that sweet spot changes, so can another element can be presented for another part of your track. I'd say perk and kick are my favorite. Perk I'd use. I wouldn't say. Oh, you can sequence anything, but I wouldn't sequence perk, to be honest. I would draw on the kick drum. That's too long. I'd draw on the kick drum to create that tension I was talking about. And as you start building a track, if we go in and get some hats, where are ya? Fuck yeah. Something simple. You can hear it straight away, really. When that hits, low perk. Let's just throw that in there for a laugh. No, it's not leveled. No, I'm not mixing. You'll be right. And then if I was looking for that tension, I'd roll that lows off. A nice kick texture. Bring the control sequence back in. I like it. I do like it. It's got a lot of variety in there. Some of it can sound quite similar, and just sort of going through the presets and the x-axis, but it's definitely strong enough to get almost every element out of one of my tracks created from here. It'll take a bit of time and a bit more dedicated thinking and processing and stuff, but I mean, for something out of the box, it's definitely something I'd reach for. Well, I already have, I fucking bought it, but it's something I'd reach for in my personal production, because I am aggressive, so we can get out of the box without distortion and without heavy EQ or anything. I can get quite metallic, industrial, tension, even rumble sounds out of this, right out of the box, and quickly, you know what I mean? I know the possibilities are endless, which is great, but quickly I could get something out. And that's what happened in the last project I was talking about earlier, where I had the melody and it was all good, but the VST or the preset I was using was cooking me. So when I threw random on, within 5 minutes, because I already had the melody drawn, it just fell into place and worked. And all I really did by memory was I just put up the instability, so the per note changed. I gave it a real wonky sound, you know. Not to mention, I haven't automated anything. You can throw LFOs on this and map and change all those stress, spike, and bleeds, you know. All those parameters you can control with Ableton's LFO. So even though you can move the axis around, you can automate something you like, and record that and even use that live in your MIDI clip for your own track, which I think's awesome. And I love the random button. You know, I always use random buttons on, if the plugin has it, especially Ableton. If you create an effect rack or kick rack or something, I straight away hit random, because I just want to see what I can cycle through. Yeah. It's well priced. I only paid, I think, €50 for it. I think it's on sale at the moment, but yeah. For anyone, you can use it for any genre, but for anyone maybe on the industrial side, something that's real metallic and intense, even for textures, man, I'd be reaching for it for sure. It's fucking mad. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to dive into it a bit more. It was a simple video. I didn't really do too much. I did just want to explain what the fuck it was, how it works, what's under the hood, cycle for the presets so you can hear them. But I would be, if you're keen further than that, getting into it yourself and really playing around and see if you get to a nice sweet spot, how much further can you take it from there? Can you get it, you know, good enough to something you'd use in the rest of your track? I'm not one to draw my own melodies or anything like that, so I would be sequencing it, and straight out of the box using a sequencer. He's my type of guy. You know, and using this sequencer, I'm hitting random on this. I haven't premeditated any particular melody or key or anything like that. So for it to work off the bat, that's what I like about it. And it's unique. Like, I know there's other stuff on the market that can sound similar, have similar presets, but I like its interface. I like what you can get out of it while you're using it live. Bass sounds, synth leads. Tension build-ups. Just before I let you go, we're going to draw a random. I did this the other day. It's not in key, relax. This is how I operate. I do like to just draw random notes, because then I'll move them around as I need. Yes, you can scale lock and all that. You'll be right. Stress it out. Yeah, a lot of character in there. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will do another video on it once I spend a bit more time with it and sort of find some sweet pockets and maybe create some of my own presets. I'll jump back on and give it another spin. But yeah, look, for my 2 cents, I think it's worth the money. It's a great sound design tool. It can take out a lot of thinking if you're not too well versed in synthesis and creating your own patches and stuff like that. You can be satisfied probably pretty quick, but not just that, probably with something that you'd potentially want to use in your own production. I'd sample the fuck out of it. I'd live record it, resample it, make your own random folder and add all your hits and loops and shit in there, and straight away just get moving. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll fucking see you around. Thank you.